properly apply only to the following specified individuals and not to the individuals that Congress has deemed outside the protection of the Bill of Rights.
I'm not a sixth grader. Senator, I've been on this committee for 20 years. It's fine you want to lecture me on the Constitution. I appreciate it. Just know I've been here for a long time. I've passed on a number of bills. I've studied the Constitution myself. I am reasonably well educated, and I thank you for the lecture. Incidentally, this does not prohibit, you use the word prohibit, it exempts 2,271 weapons. Isn't that enough for the people in the United States?
Nobody doubts her sincerity or her passion. And yet, at the same time, I would note that she chose not to answer the question that I asked, which is, in her judgment, would it be consistent with the Constitution for Congress to specify which books are permitted and which books are not, and to use the specific number?
The answer is obvious, no.
All right, joining me now is someone who has been very outspoken about the left's gun grab, author, columnist, Coulter. How are you?
Fine.
I don't even need to say Ann. Everybody knows who you are. You know, I felt like I was listening to Cruz. I felt like I was listening to a Supreme Court argument, because he's talking about, all right, well, the First Amendment, does that mean that you're going to ban some books, not other books? How do you justify it? The Fourth Amendment, search and seizure. I thought he made a really good case, and she got pissed.
Yeah, he asked some very important questions, and Dianne Feinstein, like her other I am woman, hear me roar, Democratic female, Hillary Clinton, as soon as they get a question they don't like, they start crying. Oh, that's fantastic. I would like to see how that would go over in a law school class when a professor asks you to distinguish cases. I have been very educated, and I'm offended by that question. I spend half my life
near the Constitution.
On college campuses with co-eds at the mic crying to me and stamping their feet and telling me they're offended. It's going to be harder for me to tell them now that's not an answer, now that U.S. senators are using that as an answer. And what Dianne Feinstein eventually got to answering was preposterous. She said he raised the First Amendment. And she said, well, we ban child pornography. The very answer proves the absurdity of what is happening. The First Amendment protects speech. It does not protect photographs. It certainly does not protect photographs of genitals. If we interpreted the Second Amendment, which protects arms, the way we interpreted the First Amendment, you would have a right to your own personal nuclear weapon. That's how extreme it is. And I would add that, in fact, the First Amendment does protect virtual child pornography. It certainly protects writing about child pornography. And for her to say, well, don't worry, we're not banning these other guns. Well, okay, how about we just ban the New York Times, because we still have the Daily News and the New York Post.
Good point. And that's what Cruz was getting to, about the First Amendment side of his argument, which was, I thought, very pertinent and clever and appropriate.
He nailed her, so she said, I'm offended.
Yeah, I'm offended. And, all right. So
no, I used to think women just shouldn't be able to vote. Now I think at least liberal women should not be able to hold office. And by woman, I do not mean to limit that to the biological sense. That is not an answer. All right. I'm offended.
All right. First of all, you know what frustrates me? Nobody knows about these weapons. I have been trained in the use of firearms since I am 11. I know I've shot most of them. And the point is, you know, Joe Biden is lecturing, well, just fire a shotgun through a door, not knowing what's on the other side, which is stupid. Secondly, a lot of shotguns have a big kickback that would probably send you flying right on your backside. Now, an AR-15 would not do that.
Right. No, you need different guns for different things. But, I mean, you remind me of this. I keep hearing them say, we deserve to at least have a discussion. We want to have a discussion. Every time you try to have a discussion with them, they become hysterical, they cry, and they want to show pictures of dead children, as if our position is, oh, we don't mind a few dead children. No, our position is concealed carry would have stopped these slaughters, and we have the statistics and the studies to back it up. Something else I saw you talking about last night on TV that I think is very important to clarify. This nonsense idea by people who do know absolutely nothing about guns and nothing about criminology, that a gun in the home is more likely to be used against the occupant. Okay, point one, and I have been through some of this before, that is 100% suicides. And there is no higher rate of suicide than with a gun or without a gun. People use poison or a million other things. But the idea that a criminal would be wrestling a gun away from the homeowner is preposterous. That happens even in attempts where the homeowner gets shot by the home invader. It happens in in less than 1% of the cases, they have done extensive interviews with prisoners. They say they do not go into homes they think could have a gun. They will not mug someone they think will have a gun. If they see a homeowner with a gun, they run. It is only in Hollywood movies that the criminal sees the gun and wrestles you for it. There are plenty of other houses to break into and rape women in.
All right, you're going to CPAC.
Yes, I am.
All right, we're going to show highlights in a little bit. We got Rubio, you got Rand Paul, you got Ted Cruz, who we just saw, you got Mike Lee. We got a new and of course you are rock star.
Wow.
You're going to bring the house
That's
down.
the big highlights.
That's listen.
So get ready to replay that on Monday.
All right. So, but the point is, we've got an emerging, energetic. We got new blood. I'm energized by them. I think this is really helping the party, and the media hates all of them.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's a good sign. That means they're doing their job.
Whereas I only hate about a third of them.
Yeah,
None of the ones you mentioned. I'm speaking right before Cruz, who is the big finale speaker on Saturday.
Yeah. You get to introduce them?
No, I'm not very good at introductions. I'm much better at making fun of liberals.